welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria. Today we are going to have a bit of a chatty talk through of my fall TBR, what I would kind of like to touch on this fall. I have to be completely honest with you. I'm having an extremely hard time fitting reading into my schedule these days. I just started a new job and there's a lot of new information. I'm also getting used to talking to people all day, interacting with people all day after a year of COVID shutdown. And I'm really slowing down on my reading pace. So what I thought I would do is go ahead and switch to seasonal TBRs, which is something I wanted to do, but then I ended up not. I started and then I didn't. And then I kind of wanted to go back, but then I was like, no, I've already committed to monthly TBRs. And, I went through this whole mind game. And so instead, we're going to just do seasonal TBRs. And I thought this was a perfect time to start it because I would like to participate in the Fall Into Reading Challenge, which is a super fun read along and also really helps me with mood reading. My plan is to mood read a lot more than I usually do. That is a luxury that I tend to not allow myself, and I just think that if I'm going to be keeping reading in my life, I have to allow for mood reading, and I have to just drop things that are not bringing me joy. A way that I'm going to do that is participate in the Fall Into Reading Challenge, which is hosted by Tia from Tia and All the Books, Kelly from Cozy Reader Kelly, Rainy from Rainy Day Reads, and Angie from Literary Laborers. These are all awesome ladies, and I just love all of them. I will link some announcement videos and also all of their channels down below, so you can check that out. There are bingo boards for different prompts, and their goal with this read along is just to have everybody read really widely. So there are different genres for each prompt, and as long as you read a book that fits in that genre, you can check that prompt off. There's a 15 book one, and then there's a 24 book one, and I'm not going to be doing that one. I'm going to be doing the 15 one because honestly, it'll be a miracle if I read 15 books in the next 3 months. It's unlikely at the pace that I am currently having to go. So, yeah, I'll be shocked. But I do want to give myself some options for each prompt. And we're just going to talk through those options. And it's much more of a pile of possibilities TBR than anything. So the first prompt on the bingo board is nonfiction. Nonfiction November might change this for me a bit. But one of my options is this one, which was lent to me by a friend. Well, really, she kind of pushed it into my hands and was like, you should read this after a conversation that we were having. It's one of my very dear friends, and she had good intentions, but she was just like, I think you should read this book. And this is called Unashamed, Healing Our Brokenness and Finding Freedom from Shame by Heather Davis Nelson. And this is a Christian nonfiction book. I've never read this author. Again, this is not my copy. Someone lent this to me. So they thought I would benefit from reading it. So maybe this one. I do want to read it so that I can give it back to them and be a good friend, rather than, borrow a book and then give it back like 5 years later, which is usually what happens. But yeah, if we can maybe read this and then give it back to her, and then I won't have that guilt cloud hanging over my head. That's one option. So this is the book that I should read, probably. I should probably finish John Adams, which I started in February. What month is it now? It's August at the time I'm filming this, but it's going to be September and I still haven't finished this. So, John Adams, we could definitely finish that. That would be a great way to spend that prompt. I also am still interested in reading this one, Cast by Isabel Wilkerson, and I've been really interested to read this book. I've heard really nothing but good things so far, and it is about the American race problem that we have here, and is about how there is a kind of caste system in America that, you know, is not talked about, but it's definitely present. And I would like to read more about this and learn about this. And another book that will hopefully get read, because I am actually going to be doing this with a group of people. More information to come, but that'll be Letters to a Diminished Church. I always forget the title, by Dorothy L. Sayers. My dear friend Christy Lewis from the channel Dostoevsky in Space absolutely loves Dorothy Sayers, and I would like to find out why and read this with her, and also with Carla from Raised to Walk. More information to come about this. There is going to be an opportunity to perhaps read this together in November for Nonfiction November. So just putting that on your radar at the moment. Announcement video to come on that. The next prompt is published in 2021. So this would be a brand new release. And for this, I have a couple that I'm kind of toying with. I think for this prompt, I'm either going to go with the final revival of Opal and Nev by Dani Walton, or Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McConaughey. I figure this is a good prompt to read a book of the month, because I have a list of book of the months that I need to get to. This one is kind of calling to me more than this one, but also this one has such a good fall cover, and it feels very fall, maybe even winter, so I don't know. But this one is kind of calling to me more. It's been compared to Daisy Jones and the Six, which is also a book that we're going to talk about for another prompt. But I would love to do like a double review of this and Daisy Jones and the Six and compare them. I think that would be a cool video to do. So this is about Opal, who is a young woman in the Black punk artist movement in Detroit in, I believe, the early 70s. That just sounds amazing. I would like to read some music themed books. The next prompt is for historical fiction, and some of these books could count, like Opal and Nev could totally count for historical fiction, but if I use it for the published in 2021 prompt, then obviously I can't use it for another prompt. So here's a couple options for historical fiction. One is another book of the month that I would like to get read, and that would be Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I don't know if you remember, but I think last year around October, this book was all the rage, and I've kind of let the hype die down a bit, but I'm still interested in this. I have read books by Silvia Moreno Garcia before, and she's a little bit of a hit or miss author for me, but I would like to give her another go. And this one has good creepy October vibes and historical fiction set in the 1950s in Mexico, which is a setting that I really think I might gel with. And then just because I don't have enough books to read, I signed up for NetGalley. And I have a book waiting for me on NetGalley that is the new Anthony Doerr book. And I have read a book by Anthony Doerr before and loved it. I loved All the Light We Cannot See. And his new book is called Cloud Cuckoo Calling, I think. I may have just butchered that title. And this sounds intense. First of all, it's 640 pages. Will I want to read that this fall? I don't know. But I am interested in this because I do really like the author. And it's set in the 1400s during the siege of Constantinople, but also we have these other storylines and even some futuristic storylines. I believe there's a spaceship involved. So this is a historical fiction, perhaps science fiction blend, which I'm down for. That sounds interesting. I've seen some reviews that have said that it's a bit too much and that there's too much going on in this book, but it could hit well, I think, because I think Anthony Doerr is really talented, but it also could be really weird. So this is another option for historical fiction. The next two books here are for the sci-fi prompt, and this is actually a for sure. I'm definitely going to get to these. That is Jurassic Park and The Lost World. And so obviously I'll just count Jurassic Park for the sci-fi prompt, and then maybe I can count Lost World for something else. But this is for a read-along that I am a co-host of with Dani from Spinelli Speaks and a host of other wonderful people. There's like 11 of us, I think, that are all participating in co-hosting this and doing different things for it. So this is going to be really fun. We have some live streams on Dani's channel. I will link some info down below for you on that so that you can jump in. It's not too late. You can still jump in. We're reading Jurassic Park in September, and we're reading The Lost World in October. So that's definitely happening. The next prompt on the bingo board is romance, which is not my forte genre, but I have collected a few things from used bookstores and such that I would like to give a go. So here are my two options. I have A Princess in Theory by Alyssa Cole, and this is actually, I think, the first in a series, in the Reluctant Royal series. I've heard really just rave reviews for this, and this could also actually count possibly for the next prompt. The next prompt is author of color. So actually, if I don't end up reading this for romance, I could maybe even count it for author of color prompt. The other romance that I'm thinking of is also a historical romance, and that would be Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. I haven't really read historical romance, but I'm really tempted to try. I feel like if there is a romance genre that I will like, it might be historical romance. We've gone down the fantasy romance path, and we've learned that it's not for us. But I think that historical romance might be my cup of tea. So perhaps one of these for that. And I realize I kind of gave it away, but the next prompt is author of color. And so for that, I could double back and do A Princess in Theory for that. I also could double back and do cast for that prompt. Or I could go totally crazy and pick up a new book, and that would be The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. I have been just dying to read some N.K. Jemisin. Is now the time? Maybe, maybe not. But I really, really, really want to see what the hype is about. I feel like this is something I will love eventually. You probably know this. It's a booktube darling of sorts. The next prompt is middle grade, and for that, I'm gonna either do Matilda, which I think would be a really good fall read. I think this would be fun for the fall, especially because it's got a bit of like a back to school kind of setting. So Matilda, I've never read Matilda. I know how sad that I've lived my life without reading Matilda. I would like to remedy that. So I have Matilda. I also have Keeper of the Lost Cities, which is a series I would love to start. The only thing is there's a lot of books in the series. So if I feel like starting a long series, maybe this one. If I feel like just a standalone, perhaps Matilda. It's going to depend on what mood I'm in at the time. The next prompt is thriller/horror, and for this, I would like to actually go the classic route and get some classic horror under my belt. I would maybe even make this a read-along, maybe for October. I'm talking to my buddy Angie at Literary Labors. We're thinking about doing a read-along of some kind with this and with some short stories, so spoiler, look out for that. I'll do some discussion in my Discord on this, so if you want to read some H.P. Lovecraft, I will get some details about that soon. I need to solidify it, like what stories we're gonna read, because I'm not planning on reading all the stories in this. H.P. Lovecraft has several story cycles, and I'm thinking of focusing on one story cycle, but we haven't nailed down which story cycle, at least at the point of me filming this video. By the time it goes up, we might know that better. But I would like to do a read-along of some kind with H.P. Lovecraft short stories in October. I think that would be a good time to do that. So this would definitely count for horror. I also have Chad Nicholas's new book, Shade, that I would like to try and get to. I read Nightmare not too long ago, like a few months ago, and really liked a lot about it. And I think this one sounds even more exciting. It's got a serial killer premise, which I do like a good serial killer story. So I would like to maybe try this one and then get a review up for you guys. Speaking of self-published authors, the next category is young adult. And for this, I'm also going to go with a self-published author. That's going to be Summer Sullivan, who reached out to me about her new series, which is The Last Heir. That's the first book. And I know she's planning on this being a young adult series. So the cover just really spoke to me. The premise spoke to me. I would like to get this read. I think that's the only one I'm going to pick for young adult. Although I do have a few other young adults that I could pick up if I wanted to mood read, but I really want to read this one. So I think this one's going to be my pick. I will also link Chad Nicholas and Summer Sullivan. I'm going to link their websites down below as well so that you can check them out, because we like to support self-published authors around here. Next up is graphic novel. For that, this is embarrassing at this point. I don't even know how long I've been talking about finishing Fruits Basket. Finally, I have literally the last one. I have volume 12. I just need to read volume 12. This will take like 2 hours. I have not taken the 2 hours to read this. So that is my graphic novel pick. We do not need any other graphic novel pick to contest with that. Just this. We just need to finish Fruits Basket, guys. That's all we need to do. And then we can die happy. Next up is going to be contemporary. And for this, I would like to read one of Taylor Jenkins Reid's books, either Daisy Jones. If I end up reading Opal and Nev, I will probably go this route with Daisy Jones. Or I'll try her other one that I have, which is Malibu Rising. The only thing about this one is it's not very fall. It's more summer. So I don't know if I'm going to feel like reading a summery kind of book. I am a Southern Californian, and it's basically always summer here. It's almost always warm. So I live in a perpetual state of summer. Usually we just sometimes drink iced pumpkin spice lattes on top of that, but it's still warm in September. It very well may be 100 degrees in September. It's likely, honestly. So one of these, Taylor Jenkins Reid, would like to finally read one of her books. Next up is a classic. And of course, I already had a bunch of classics planned because I am me. But first of all, I would like to reread Wuthering Heights. I would like to reread Wuthering Heights. That is a tongue twister, my friends. Reread Wuthering Heights. Whew. Okay, so I would like to reread this. It's been since high school that I've read this. So who knows? I think I gave this like 4 or 5 stars in high school. Is high school me intelligent? Probably not. I don't know. Am I going to agree with high school me? Maybe, maybe not. We're going to find out. This is also going to be a read-along announcement. I will, I'll keep you posted on that. This is very exciting. I'm excited about this. So watch the channel for more information on that one. So next up, I would like to read Lady Audley's Secret, hopefully in September, with Kate Howe's Patreon book club. Hopefully I can get to this. It sounds wonderful. Also, if I don't get to it in September, maybe I can use it for Victober. And the next one on my list is Northanger Abbey, which is shockingly short, but Northanger Abbey is next on my list. So those are 3 classics that I'm already planning on reading. So that doesn't make me really read widely if I read all of them. But I love classics and I want to read all of them. The next category is fantasy, which I never have any problem with. There's already a few books that I've mentioned that could just fit that prompt. But I also have some other fantasy books, of course, that I would like to get to. The biggest one being Eye of the World. I would, like the rest of the world, really like to read this before the show comes out. And I believe the show is supposed to drop in the fall. So, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get to this by the time that happens. But at least by the time I watch it. Even if I watch it a little bit later. But Eye of the World is definitely on that list. Also, I think it would be cool to finish Ruin and Rising, finish the Grisha verse, or the Grisha trilogy, I should say. And then I also have Robin Hobb that I need to continue in. That would be the second book, Royal Assassin in the Farseer trilogy. Would be great to make some progress on that. It also would be great to continue my Harry Potter reread. I would like to be on that hype train. Sign me up. Get me on the choo-choo, the hype train. the choo-choo. What? The next prompt is published before 2021. Literally most of the books that I talked about were published before 2021. So any of those, I'm not even going to pick a new book for that. But yeah, most of these books could count for that prompt. And then the last prompt is mystery, which is a genre that I just would like to be more well-versed in. So I would hope to touch on this genre as well, either with The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton, or this one, Arsenic and Adobo. Just the only thing is this feels more fall and this feels more summer. So I think either one of them could work. Like, this probably is not set in the summertime, but it feels like the cover looks summery to me. So this one has that like dark fall vibe more on the cover at least. So maybe one of these for the mystery prompt. And also in content, I know this one's a bit darker and this is like a fluffy, cozy mystery, which I really need to try the cozy mystery genre. I've been slowly buying cozy mysteries to get myself to pick them up. So I would like to try the cozy mystery genre for the first time. This one might be a fun one to do that with. Or if I'm just feeling the dark fall vibes, I'll just go this direction. Choices. And that's it for my fall TBR. That is plenty of books. Don't need any more books. I'm sure things will come up, especially with the different things that are happening in the fall. There's so many fun things happening in the fall, and you just can't participate in all of them, but you can try if you're crazy. And we are all mad here on BookTube, as we know. If you have any thoughts on what you think I should prioritize, definitely let me know. I am just kind of gonna mood read through my life at the moment because I'm putting too much pressure on TBRs, and it's time to stop that. So yes, I would like to just have fun with this, and let me know if you think any of these in particular I should maybe move a little bit higher to the top of my list. But for the most part, I'm just going to pick up what I feel like picking up this fall and stick to this pile. So I'm looking forward to just reading whatever I feel like out of a wide range of genres. So thank you to the ladies that are hosting this read along. I think it's going to be super fun, and I will have some more information linked down below about various read alongs and readathons that I have talked about. There's also some group reads, by the way. I should probably mention that. There's some group reads for the Fall Into Reading Challenge, but I'm just not going to participate, even though one of those group reads is A Wizard of Earthsea, and I love A Wizard of Earthsea, but I'm not in the place right now where I want to reread that one. So they have some other ones. Check it out. All that info is linked down below. I do recommend all their channels, and go participate. It's going to be really fun. I'm so looking forward to fall. I want a pumpkin spice latte, but it has to be iced because it's still 100 degrees outside. Thank you guys so much for watching my video today. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new here, and hit the little bell icon so that you don't miss any more videos. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep reading great books, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.